Oh my God! Well, this isn't fair. Life's not fair. It's not fair. I hope I didn't break that. They told me they wanted me to talk about a Porsche 944. Pfft, no way, Jose. All right, day 132 of asking for a Toyota Matrix. Keep them coming, bud. Not today, boyo. And if you're thinking about a K car or K truck, you're just gonna hold on. Okay, we're getting there. All right, that's a little bit of a tough one. We're jumping on an American bandwagon, baby. All right, it's pretty much a good time when you get to talk about the 6 domestic vehicles that are left in this world. I'm Alex at Define Instagram, and today we're gonna be talking about a domestic vehicle that eats any children you don't end up putting in the back seat. A car that gave the old Germans a mild panic attack in the 21st century because they realized they weren't the only ones at the dinner table. A car that is owned by people that either love horsepower or really enjoy golf courses. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna be talking about you wanting to own the behemoth, the parallelogram looking, circle discriminating manufacturer, the Cadillac CTS V. And if you're just jumping into this video, hello, and just so you know, if your knees are turning pink, you've been going to the bathroom for too long, somebody's going to notice you're going to want to jump out of there. Go subscribe if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension for your newly acquired CTS V. As well, you can hit us up over at fitmentindustries.com, where we really much have everything for your CTS V, like niche, Rohanas, Michelins, Toyos, Coilovers, all that sort of good stuff. And you already have one that's modified, added to our badass gallery. Taking it back to the early 2000s, Cadillac was trying to figure itself out. It had been doing well, but was reaching like the max maturity of the DeVille, the Eldorados, and the Escalades look of the soft rectangle front grills, minimalistic colors, simplified designs, and a look that gave you more of a feeling that when you got in it, you were going to a morgue versus like a Sunday morning brunch. So Cadillac would eventually try to restylize itself with the focus to art and science. In 2000, which focused on sharp, sheer forms and crisp edges, okay? Moving away from the atypical slope lines and curved windows to, you guessed it, my favorite shape, parallelograms. Cadillac would jump into the 2000s with a few redesigned models, the DeVille, 99 Dalmatians, that's all I can think about when I hear that. And a few short years later, the Escalade. Then Cadillac would introduce something special, the CTS. The CTS would be jumping into the compact luxury spectrum segment and replace the CT5, which would target the 3 Series and C-Class Mercedes. It was a properly good car that would allow Cadillac to diversify its portfolio further, attracting everyone from real estate agents to Florida folks. Those are 2 pretty good target markets, and it was a good time, all right? But hiding in the shadows was an idea that Cadillac was keeping extremely close to the chest, a new age performance division. The Cadillac V Series was initially created as part of the art and science rebranding in 2000 and stole clothes from their little brother Chevrolet to make a loud, obnoxiously fast, but fun performance sedan. And the very first V Series car to hit the dock was in 2004, and it was called the Cadillac CTS V. If you prefer more energy, it was called the V. All right, so the CTS V would be previewed at Germany's famed Nürburgring race course, and the 400 horsepower Corvette in a suit would be the most powerful car Cadillac would ever introduce at that time, and only came with a good old stick next to the knee. The CTS V was awesome in every single way. The V was actually chosen to salute, the actual V we're talking about, the post-World War II Cadillacs that featured the old iconic V-shaped ornament beneath their wreath logo that was on their hood. The CTS V took some time from General Motors to actually make happen, mostly because they're really trying to bring back like the standard of the world look. So when they started introducing the V Series performance, they were a little bit nervous, especially with Japanese and European manufacturers doing really well. They wanted them to go kick rocks. So the best way that they ended up doing that was by making it like fast as f***. And not only did it grab the attention of those that, you know, could go to a dealership with a $100,000 budget on their next car before jumping on a jet, it also catered to like, oh, I don't know, there's like a different group of people that are generally going into money versus coming out of money. Oh yeah, people like me and people like you, the younger generation. The younger generation of car enthusiasts. People that wanted something that was a little bit nicer. The CTS V pulled in younger enthusiasts to the Cadillac brand because most of them, well, you know, they needed that because their other target market was dying. The first gen CTS V would have a GM LS V8 out of the Corvette Z06 and a 6-speed Tremec, which would give it 400 ponies, horses. not ponies. The CTS V would get all a bunch of good stuff for their suspension, including some good old Goodyear tires, America, which made it actually a well-platformed car with some decent tires, a good suspension, bigger anti-roll bars, and everything that you would need to actually scoot along in a four-door sedan. The Brembos on the car made it stop, and while it had some more aggressive styling, it was relatively actually easy to miss the good old gray sedan as it took you to dinner to Gapplebee's. It was a good-looking car, but it didn't really like peek out at you too much. The 5.7 liter did a great job in the platform, and it gave it a lovely power curve with plenty of power to boot. But hey, if you are going to buy a first generation Cadillac CTS V, go for the 2006 or 2007 year, as you end up with the LS2. It's a little bit better. It's a 6 liter versus the 5.7. Now, it does have the same power numbers, but it has a better torque band. So you're gonna wanna pick that up if you are looking to save a little bit. Plus, nobody really knows that. The platform did well, so much so that Cadillac renewed the subscription and jumped into his second generation CTS V, which is probably my favorite. Companies doing this is a big deal, all right? Performance sedans don't usually last, and they especially don't last when it's domestic because they got a lot of competition and they usually lose. And that's the thing. This was like one of the only performance sedans you could pick up that didn't have somebody with an accent explaining what it was all about. It was just a big old motor in a four-door sedan. And the second generation was actually pretty impressive. They did build on it very well. The car would get more love, but most importantly would be the suspension and the motor. The 2009 CTS V would see MagnaRide technology, which allowed the dampers to adjust based on sensor readings in like 1 millisecond intervals. It was super fancy. It was actually what a huge GM platform thing that they did, okay? And it was a huge marketing thing, all right? To adjust that in real time was awesome. It used magnetor heliological fluid. Magnetor heliological fluid. The engine would jump into the LSA V8 based on the LS9 from the ZR1, which had a good old 6.2 liter supercharged freedom fighter, all right? This is where things really start to get fun. While the pushrod system was a little interesting, nobody really complained about the fact that a performance sedan had a 6-speed transmission and 4 doors. And while the production was in Michigan, the purchase price still managed to stay under $60,000 at the time, which wasn't half bad. You were really starting to get a good old American boy that wanted to support American brands with a nice car, but still had kids. 3.9 seconds 0 to 60 with enough power to boot, and you may feel like you die when you do drive it, when you slam on the gas, but it was a proper challenge, and it was fun. It gave the German performance sedans like the M5 an actual run for their money. And while a coupe variant was introduced in 2010 and was quite the looker, it had a center exit exhaust and a raked rear that had a really good look unlike anything else, people still loved the sedan. Just know that you can't see anything out of these cars. They tried to make it easier, but you can't. You can't see anything. The A-pillars are huge, everything that you can't see a damn thing. And just like all things American, they wanted to keep going. So when Bob Lutz, GM vice chairman, was asked if there would ever be a wagon, he told them, should sufficient demand materialize, there is no reason why we wouldn't do it. And I'd be in line with you. I'm pretty sure if the demand was 1, they were gonna make that car. And Cadillac still did it. Recognized as the worst car to buy for fuel efficiency from the EPA can just bug off. The CTS V wagon was introduced with identical parts, but a big old butt and a design that made me want one every single day. 556 horsepower out of a V8 and a wagon. What else do you want? Free car parts? We're actually doing a giveaway with Koenig wheels right now. Pick up the hoodie or tee and you could win a set of free Koenig wheels. The 3rd generation CTS V would be the last we'd see this beautiful nameplate, and we would be sent off with a 6.2 liter LT4 Corvette motor, angry eyebrows, and a design that just truly slapped asses, okay? I don't know if that actually makes sense, but it was good. Like, it was really a good car. And the manual would inevitably ditch for the 8-speed automatic because that's just the way the world's working these days, but you could still be driving a premium here. The latest CTS V is an unofficial Corvette sedan with like 640 horsepower now. I just really like talking about the the history. No, we're not here to talk about the history of the CTS V. We're here to talk about you wanting to own one of these responsible, middle-aged Corvettes. So you want a Cadillac CTS V, all right? Maybe you're thinking of switching it up from the JDM crowd, okay? Well, grab your non-certified DOT helmet and drop off any notion that your gas won't be $200 a month because you're gonna be driving this everywhere, because we're about to be talking about what it's like to own one of these bad boys. Getting any generation CTS V has both its pros and its cons. Snag a 1st generation and you're getting the best bang for your buck that you possibly can out of the group. The car hasn't aged the best. It does look, in my opinion, maybe just a little bit rough, but the performance is still enough to beat up most new generation cars on the road. The stick shift is fun, but you're gonna need to not modify it a bit to get rid of the play because it does have a little bit of play in the gears. The reliability of the 5.7 liter or the 6 liter is awesome, and even with its little bits and issues, the replacement and reliability of it is nothing compared to German or European competition because it's still domestic. The community of the LS engines and the Cadillac GM platform is nuts. Everyone can help you with these cars, and they are relatively simple to dive into, even if it's your second or third build. Now I say that with like the asterisk sign, whatever you want to call it, but they are pretty easy to work into. Second generations are a bit more finicky, but not anything scary. Watch for supercharger issues that have defective blowers that have a bad internal bearing. It's super common, and the best way that you can hear it is when it's at idle. So if you're looking to buy one, listen to it, you'll be able to recognize if it got fixed or not, and then you can actually weasel your way down on the price. Magnetic shock absorbers can age and need to be replaced, and because they have the blood of Dr. Manhattan in them, they can be pricey. So you're gonna wanna listen to any sort of strut noise as you're driving one around. The interiors of the second generation have actually aged fairly well, mostly because they kept it pretty simple in the center dash and the steering wheel, which is really nice. The drivetrain is bulletproof, like absolutely bulletproof. So if you wanna make something quick, but you have obligations like children or dogs, or maybe you wanna go to Home Depot and buy some things that you can actually fit in your car, this is a banger of a deal for you. The prices can start to get up there, but for the most part, you can find a good middle child. And while the third generation is a super sedan, the 100K price tag just really doesn't speak to me, like a rusty second gen for 25K with a cam and a tune and like 600 horsepower. So the third generations are sharp, but with their caskets settling in 2019 because they're not coming back, it just doesn't carry the same huzzah as the first and second generation domestic powerhouses. The interiors are a bit more bland too, and a little bit tight if you've ever been in one. Fighting in the realms of trying to appeal to a market of people like you and people like me, but it was $90,000. It was expensive. That's a lot of savings, you know? Can't wait that long. Get a first or second generation CTS V. Get some 20-inch Rohanas, throw some Michelin tires on it, put it on some lowering springs from Eibach or H&R, and be set without losing your fancy suspension magnetorical suspension system, all right? Keep them clean though, because for some reason, CTS Vs look like they went out and got left in Nevada for like 16 months. There's something magical about a clean second gen or even a first gen with restored paint, unfaded headlights, and like a good overall body. Spend time there first. And once you jump into a Cadillac, we're gonna be honest, the odds of you actually leaving the high performance sedan market or coupe will diminish to the level of your average fuel economy once you actually start driving yours around. And if you buy one modified, really understand where and why it was modified. Because it's an LS, and I just said anybody can work on it, there's a chance that there's a lot of fingers that have been in certain crevices and holes and orifices that it shouldn't have been. And most common places on these cars is with the tune. Do not buy one with a tune if it was randomly installed. The cars are LSs, but they aren't like the 50-year-old LSs that survive bombs. These ones, they still have feelings, and tunes usually tell cars to f their feelings. So you gotta make sure it's a healthy relationship and not a toxic one, and the best way to do that is to make sure the tune was done correctly. Cadillac switched away from the super sedan and moved into their viability plan, and they got new stuff coming out, and new nameplates, which is all cool and stuff, but the CTS V nameplate is something that will sit special in my heart. Makes me sad. I don't know about you guys. And I love these things, but that doesn't mean the car won't be supported just because they're not made anymore. They were built with the perfect combination of technology that exists in almost every GM platform. It had a recipe that will keep them alive and supported for decades. And even though their designs may date a little bit more as we enter into the odd world of the new gen curvy bubbles and OEM wide body styled cars, the CTS V is the perfect car for someone that wants a good sounding, practical car that may still throw you into a wall without insane reliability costs, yet still has terrible gas mileage and will give your insurance agent a proper heart attack when you tell them that you finally bought one at 21 years old. But what do you think about the Cadillac CTS V? Let us know below, and of course, let us know what you want to cover next. If I don't see K-Car down there, or K-Truck, we're just not going to talk about it. I'm just letting you know. And if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension, seriously, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com. And if you're looking to save some cash, you got 0% financing, and then you can pay it off with your tax return if you're trying to build in the wintertime. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and we will see you later. Peace.